You know that feeling, right? Where you're just pushing and pushing, trying to get through everything on your list, but it feels like you're not actually getting anywhere.
Or worse, that deep exhaustion starts creeping in, that like burnout feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Burnout.
And it's really common. We've seen stats suggesting, huge numbers of people feel stressed at work pretty often. And a lot have actually experienced burnout.
It really feels like a widespread issue, how we approach work these days.
Definitely. It's almost systemic.
And the usual advice is just, work harder, push through it, put in more hours.
Right. The brute force method.
But what if that's not the answer? What if the key isn't actually more work, but, stopping, taking a break? Seems kind of backward, doesn't it?
It does seem counterintuitive at first glance. But that's exactly what we're going to dive into here. We've looked at a whole load of material, the science behind it, different techniques people use, and even how stress, links up with our daily habits in ways you might not expect.
Okay, so our mission today is really to pull out the most important stuff from all that. We want to help you see breaks, not as some kind of luxury you get after you've earned it.
Yeah, not a reward.
But as like an essential tool, something you actually need to manage stress, avoid that burnout, and honestly, just perform better in the long run. We want to figure out why they're so crucial and how you can actually make them work for you.
So let's really unpack this main idea that kept coming up. Breaks are basically fuel, essential fuel for your brain, for your body.
Fuel. I like that. Not just downtime you should feel guilty about.
Exactly. It's not stopping work so much as it is, necessary maintenance.
Right.
Keeping the engine running smoothly.
Right. Because your brain, amazing as it is, it just can't stay at peak performance forever without recovery time. It's not a computer.
Trying to force it is like, driving a car forever without stopping for gas or letting it cool down.
Eventually, it just breaks down. And the science is pretty clear on this, isn't it? Regular pauses stop that mental fatigue. They let your brain sort of process things, lock in learning.
And even switch gears mentally, which you need for creativity and solving problems. Skipping breaks, that's just asking for exhaustion.
Yeah, and often we think, okay, I'll finish this, then take a break. Like it's a treat.
Right, the reward model again.
Yeah.
But what the research really points to is putting breaks in consistently during the work is much better for keeping focus up and stopping that stress and fatigue from building up into burnout.
Okay, so consistency is key. What kind of breaks are we talking about? The sources mentioned a few different types, right?
Yeah, there's a whole range. You've got like micro breaks, maybe just seconds or a minute just to stretch or look away from the screen.
Simple stuff.
Simple, but can be effective. Then slightly longer ones, maybe 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
And then the more structured ones, maybe 15-20 minutes, often linked to specific techniques. Everyone's heard of the Pomodoro technique, probably.
Oh, yeah, the tomato timer. Classic. For anyone who maybe hasn't tried it, it's pretty simple, right? Work focused for, say, 25 minutes.
Traditionally 25, yeah.
Then take a short, 5-minute break. And you do a few rounds of that, then take a longer break.
And the real takeaway from the sources wasn't about sticking religiously to the 2-5-5 rule. It's the idea behind it.
The principle.
Exactly. Building in those predictable, non-negotiable moments to recover. Yes, it helps break down big tasks, but the magic is really in scheduling that rest before you even feel like you need it, before you hit the wall.
And you can tweak it, right? The material suggested that. If you're coding maybe 50 minutes work, 10 minutes break makes more sense for getting back into it.
Or for really intense creative work, maybe even shorter bursts are better to stay fresh.
Yeah.
The key thing is that rhythm. Effort, then recovery. Consistently.
Okay, so when to take the break is important, building that rhythm. But the sources also really stressed how you use that break time, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. Huge distinction. Not all breaks are actually restful.
Right. This is where it gets really practical. There was one analysis, I think, that looked at a bunch of studies.
Yeah, and it was pretty clear. Certain things you do on a break genuinely help you recharge, while others, not so much. Maybe even make things worse.
So what works?
Movement was a big one. Just standing up, stretching, maybe a quick walk, even just around the office, that was consistently linked to feeling more positive and less tired afterwards.
Makes sense. Get the blood flowing.
And also, things that give your brain a proper shift, like watching a short video that's totally unrelated to work that could actually boost performance when you went back to the task.
A mental palate cleanser.
Kind of, yeah. And interestingly, talking to people, a quick chat was linked to feeling more vital, more energized.
Okay, so movement, a real mental shift, social connection, that feels intuitive. Moving changes your physical state, talking connects you, engages different parts of the brain.
Right. Now compare that to, say, scrolling through social media on your break.
The default break activity for many of us.
Exactly. And the sources warn against it. It feels like downtime, but your brain is still processing, information, maybe comparisons, news. It can even add stress. It doesn't give you that same cognitive contrast or physical change. It might actually tire you out more.
Okay, so mindless scrolling is out. What's the absolute worst thing to do on a break, according to the research?
Staying involved with work.
Right, like checking emails or quickly helping a colleague.
Definitely. One study found that using even a micro break to deal with work stuff could actually make you feel worse. The whole point is often to genuinely disconnect just for that short time.
So even physically stepping away helps, like going to the window?
Yeah, that physical separation helps signal the mental shift too.
Okay, so we've got the basic science. Breaks are fuel, not rewards. We have techniques like Pomodoro for structure, but with flexibility. And we know what to do, move, chat, disconnect, and what not to do, scroll, work. But there was this other bit of research you mentioned about stress and sitting. That seemed to complicate things a bit.
Yes. Okay, let's unpack that one. It was quite fascinating. This study used mobile tech to track people's stress levels and how much they were sitting, their sedentary behavior, every day for a whole year.
A whole year? Wow, that's a lot of data, real-life patterns.
It is. And when they look at the average across the whole group, here's the surprise. There wasn't a clear, strong link between just general daily stress and total sitting time.
Wait, really? So the idea that stress makes you sit more just didn't show up in the average?
Not consistently for overall stress, no.
Yeah.
Which already challenges that common assumption.
Okay. But did different kinds of stress matter?
They did find some links there. Stress from arguments, specifically.
Oh, conflict, right.
That was linked to sitting more and for longer stretches on average for the group, which kind of fits the idea of withdrawing, maybe seeking comfort when there's conflict.
Yeah, like a behavioral retreat. Makes sense.
Exactly. But then here's the twist. Stress from feeling rushed or being late, and importantly, work-related stress. Those were actually linked with less sitting time and shorter sitting periods on average for the group.
Hold on. Work stress made people sit less, on average. That seems completely the opposite of the burnout picture, where you feel overwhelmed and just stuck at your desk.
And that's where the study gets really interesting, because it moved beyond just looking at group averages.
Yeah.
They analyzed the data for each person individually. It's called an N of 1 approach, basically tracking the unique patterns within each person over that year.
Right, so not lumping everyone together.
Exactly. And when they did that, they found huge differences between people, massive variability.
Meaning the group average was hiding what was really going on for individuals.
Completely. For some people in the study, yes, more overall stress did mean they sat more, but for other people, stress meant they sat significantly less.
Wow.
And for a lot of people, there wasn't really a clear statistical link either way. Or maybe it changed depending on the day or what was causing the stress.
Okay, that's a really critical point. It means my reaction to stress, in terms of just sitting down or getting up, could be totally different from yours.
Precisely. And they even found a clue as to why. It related to something called sense of mastery.
Sense of mastery. What's that?
It's basically how much you feel you have control over things in your life, your ability to handle challenges.
Yep.
And they found that people with a lower sense of mastery tend to sit more when they felt work stress. Maybe that feeling of being overwhelmed, stuck.
Okay. Yeah.
But people with a higher sense of mastery, they actually tended to sit less when work stress hit. Maybe suggesting more of a proactive, get up and tackle it kind of response.
So stress isn't just one thing that makes everyone slump in their chair. It depends on the type of stress and also on our own psychology, our coping style, like this sense of mastery.
Exactly. It's this complex interaction. And it just hammers home the point. There's no single way stress affects us.
Yeah.
And so there can't be a single universal fix, especially when it comes to changing behavior.
Which ties right back to the breaks idea, doesn't it? What works for me as a restorative break might be different because my stress response is different.
Absolutely. It highlights why understanding your own patterns, your own responses, is so important, both for how stress shows up for you and for figuring out what kind of break actually recharges you personally.
Okay, so knowing all this, the science, the techniques, this individual variability, how do we actually, make breaks happen. It's easy to know they're good, harder to fit them into a packed day.
Well, the sources suggest moving towards giving people more flexibility and control, especially at work.
Autonomy, like that sense of mastery link.
Exactly. Instead of rigid top-down break schedules, encouraging people to take breaks when they feel they need them seems more effective. It lets people respond to their own energy levels and stress signals. Giving that control can itself be beneficial.
So companies could maybe provide guidelines, like aim for a couple short breaks and one longer one, but not strict rules.
Precisely. Guidelines, not prescriptions. And tools can definitely help make it easier.
Like timers.
Simple timers, yeah. A kitchen timer, phone app, browser extensions for things like Pomodoro. There are also more advanced apps that remind you, and even track breaks.
Some platforms even encourage team breaks, right?
Yeah.
Which could tap into that social connection benefit we talked about.
Yeah, building it into the culture and building the habit itself. That takes being intentional. The sources mentioned thinking about it in terms of cue, craving, response, reward.
The habit loop.
Right. What's the trigger, the cue, maybe finishing a task or a timer? What's the craving? That feeling of needing a mental reset. What's the response? Actually taking the break. And the reward, feeling refreshed, more focused. You need that whole loop. And the reward needs to be genuine. The break needs to actually feel restorative.
Habit stacking could work too, couldn't it? Like linking the break to something you already do. After I finish this report section, I'll stand up and stretch.
Or when this meeting ends, I walk to get water. Attaching it to an existing routine makes it easier to remember.
And maybe tracking breaks or just noticing your energy levels could help. Seeing the connection between taking a break and feeling better.
Definitely. That feedback reinforces the habit. Plus, it helps you learn your patterns, which, as we saw with the stress study, is really key because everyone's different.
Okay, this has been fascinating. Let's try and boil this whole deep dive down.
Right.
What are the absolute must-remember takeaways?
Okay, takeaway number one, breaks are not optional. They're not a luxury. They're essential fuel. Vital for preventing burnout, keeping your focus sharp, and just being productive sustainably over time.
Essential fuel. Got it. Number two.
Number two, how you break matters a lot. Choose activities that are genuinely restorative. Think movement, talking to someone, truly disconnecting your brain from work. Avoid passive scrolling or definitely doing more work stuff.
Right. Quality over just stopping. And third?
Third, remember the complexity and individuality. The way stress affects your behavior, like how much you sit, isn't the same for everyone. It depends on the stressor. It depends on you, your mindset, maybe your sense of control. Group averages hide this. So there's no magic formula that works for all.
No one-size-fits-all solution.
Exactly, which leads to the call to action, really.
Okay, so for you listening, what now? Given that breaks are crucial fuel, that how you take them makes a difference, and that your needs and responses are unique, what's one small thing you could try? Maybe even today.
Could you maybe schedule just one short break where you actually get up and move? Or try one work block with a timer, followed by a planned moment of total disconnection?
Or maybe just start paying closer attention. How do you feel after scrolling versus after a quick walk? Learn what actually refuels you.
Think of it as like running a little experiment on yourself. Working with your natural energy rhythms, not constantly battling them.
Because if even a tiny micro break, just a few seconds, can start to shift things, like some research suggests, imagine what happens when you consistently build in breaks that are tailored to you, that genuinely restore you. What could that unlock? For your focus, your creativity, your well-being?
It's an invitation, really, to find your own best rhythm of working and recovering.